win or a bad win for Philadelphia, considering the Packers were missing 5 offensive starters?
Wow, okay, yeah, that's a take.
Okay, so Philadelphia won, and I'm not sure I feel good about it at all. How can you have that offensive line, 2 excellent receivers, Dallas Goedert and Saquon Barkley, be at home and be 2 for 11 on third down and throw for 121 yards? That wasn't good. Philadelphia, if they win the Super Bowl, will do the unthinkable twice. They'll win a Super Bowl with a coach we're not sure of and a quarterback nobody really loves, a Super Bowl champion, and a trivia answer. They leave so much on the table. Saquon, Goddard, A.J. Brown, Hurts, O-line. 2 for 11 on third down. I mean, Jalen Hurts went 90 minutes between completions. I watched that Wham documentary on Netflix in between completions. I mean, and Green Bay from the opening kickoff was handing them the ball, handing them the game. They were missing Christian Watson going into the game. They lost 2 more receivers during the game. They lost 2 offensive linemen. I mean, you can tell by the second series of the game, Green Bay was rattled. And by the way, Philadelphia is so talented, but they're going to have to prove they can win the Super Bowl. They have so many great players, but when you're +4 in turnovers at home and you lead 16-10 in the fourth quarter, I mean, just hand the ball to Saquon Barkley and let him lead into the O-line. But details matter more the bigger the games and the better competition. I mean, the Patriots won 6 Super Bowls, and their most talented team with Randy Moss never hoisted a trophy. Kansas City, last 2 years, lost Tyreek Hill. I'd argue less talented. It's not about talent. Playoffs are about execution. They're about discipline. They're about red zone trips. They're about being good on third down, and it's not a lack of talent. I mean, Philadelphia is Pro Bowlers and talent everywhere. And by the way, I am all for scholastic achievement. I am all for scholastic achievement. But reading a book on the sidelines? Nick Sirianni, get control of the team. This just felt like the kind of win that you go home, you dress, you shower, you go home, and you're like, man, we left a lot on the table. It almost reminds me of when somebody eats poorly when they're young, but they have a high metabolism, a fast metabolism. Eventually, that metabolism slows down, and you put on weight. You just can't eat poorly over the course of a life. And this team, the coach, I like Jalen Hurts, but when you watch Josh Allen or you watch Lamar Jackson or if you watch like a Matt Stafford tonight, there are certain guys in this league, Jared Goff, you watch them play quarterback, and then you're watching Jalen Hurts, you just don't feel the same. So I know it's a win, but I mean, this is the one game I went into the weekend and said, yeah, Philadelphia is going to win the game. But when that thing was 16-10 in the fourth quarter, and Green Bay's missing half their offense, and Jordan Love is reckless and just kind of out of sorts and not playing well and driving Matt LaFleur crazy, you didn't think to yourself, shouldn't it have been like 24-7 or 24-3? I couldn't believe it was that close.
Yeah. So let's talk about this. I know this is going to upset a lot of Eagles fans, and the truth is it shouldn't, because there's a lot of accuracy here, and some of it I think he's wrong as well. And so I'm really excited to unpack this, because there's a few things. I want to unpack the book. I want to unpack there was a time that the Eagles could have lost this game, or they wouldn't have had the lead at the very least. And when the opposing team, the Packers, you go up 7-0 in a blink of the eye, and there's 3 turnovers at half, and it's only 10-0. It's only 10-0. That's just not what you want. That's not what you want. But that doesn't mean that you now have to just rip them and pull them down, because I do believe the Philadelphia Eagles did exactly what they wanted to do. And I even wrote, because as I was watching this, right? And when I say slow, I mean this in a positive way. They played slow, efficient, no angst, no excess energy. They played smart, situational football. And like even Tom Brady, that's why I'm so happy he pointed this out. They handed the ball off. It was like 3rd and long, and I think some of the fans were even booing at that point. And it was 3rd and long, And Tom was like, no, that's smart. Take care of the ball. You're up. The other team's not playing good. Like, you don't want to now turn the ball over and give momentum back, because that was the difference of the game. Because if the Eagles tried to do more than they needed to do in this specific game, you risk turning the ball over. You risk, giving momentum to the other team. And that could be the difference between winning and losing. And, and that's what it was. They didn't do anything dumb. They didn't take a dumb deep shot like Jordan Love did and have Slay intercept it. They didn't do those things because they didn't need to. They played exactly how they needed to. Now, of course, with all that said, you want to see them better on third down. 2 for 11 on third down and 1 for 4 in the red zone. You can't win playoff games like that against other teams that are actually playing good. You can't. You just can't. Hurts was 13 for 21, 131 yards, 6 yards, 6 yards per attempt, 2 touchdowns, 111 rating, 6 carries for 36. Now, again, Colin's like, oh, it just feels different when it's Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes. Yes, not everyone can be as great and special and elite. Like Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, these guys are literal all-time greats. I mean, it's very quite possible, and remove achievements, remove Super Bowls and all of this, that those 3 quarterbacks are literally the greatest 3 quarterbacks we've ever seen in our entire lives. I mean, they are just special. They are just different. So that can't be the constant comparison. Oh, when you look at Patrick Mahomes, it's just different. And you have Jalen Hurts. He's not that guy. It's like, okay, again, Jalen Hurts isn't as good as Patrick Mahomes. Glad we figured that out. Glad we resolved that. But Jalen Hurts still played really well. Yeah, again, I'm not going to act like he had this amazing game, 131 yards and rushed for 36, but he did play high-level situational ball. Some of his big plays were called back and no fault of his own. But he picked up big key third downs, big conversions. He was definitely a little rusty, and but it just, I don't know, man. It just is what it is. Again, it needs to be emphasized that they absolutely do need to play better. Because again, even when they started the second half, the fans and the crowd were booing, like they were unhappy. But it's just like it doesn't mean that this is now like sound the alarm. Because this team is really, really, really great. They know what they need to do. And I just think, this is just what the Eagles can be susceptible to being, these lulls. It's why you don't have this 1000% unconditional confidence in what this team can achieve, because you can see kind of games like this, but they still find ways to win, and it's still very impressive. Their tackling wasn't great, which is like, a little frustrating. And so, but yeah, their defense did step up. Again, 4 total turnovers. The 1 turnover doesn't really, it was at the end of the game, and Jordan Love is just kind of letting it sling. But I think there was the defense really kept the momentum. They kept the Eagles in a situation to win that game, to not have to take chances, to be conservative. And again, I'm a fan of the game plan. I'm a fan of it. You didn't make the play that lost you the game, and that's all that matters to me. And so now the AJ Book thing. I keep going back and forth on this. Listen, a lot of people are defending it, and they're like, "Oh, he does it all the time. He does it all the time." Dude, you just don't read books on the sideline, okay? Ask yourself this. If the entire team was reading books on the sideline, how would that feel? When you're on the sideline, when you're sitting on the bench, your job is to be engaged in the game, to cheer on the people on the field, to keep everyone hyped, to be connected. When you're reading a book and you're putting your head down, you're not even watching the game at that point, and you're doing something that nobody else is doing. It's just fundamentally not right. Imagine again if 15 players were all reading books. Like, what would you say about that? It's just not a good look when you're the leader. When you're a leader of the team, especially it's not a good look when, you don't have a lot of catches. Because as someone pointed out in the comment section, they were like, "Oh yeah, is he reading those books when he has 5 catches for 90?" And it's true. People keep saying, "Oh, you're making something out of nothing." No, this is on AJ Brown. He's constantly doing this. He needs an entire book. And then again, people are like, "Well, it's inspirational quotes. It's this or that." And again, man, I'm very susceptible to, inspiring words and stuff like that. Like, man, I got my notes app that I write. I take screenshots of like inspiring memes. I got videos saved on my phone. Like, I'm all about that. That's why I'm a sucker for Hard Knocks when they're always like, where there's a will, there's a way. Champions are made in the gym and on the field. Like, I'm like all about that stuff. I love it. Love it, love it, love it with the music and all that. And I get that AJ, can help keep him calm, and maybe it stops him from, causing problems on the sideline. But again, like this is just AJ's behavior, man. People love to just jump and defend it. In 22 in the playoffs, I always forget which playoff game it was. It was either the NFC Championship game or to get to the NFC Championship game. He got in a huge fight on the sideline. He had to be calmed down by multiple players, by Nick Sirianni, and I just remember thinking, dude, you're winning by a lot. You got this game taken care of. Yeah, this wasn't an AJ Brown special. Get over it. Because I think it was a game that Devontae had a great game. And I was like, great, Devontae's balling out. He literally got demoted from wide receiver 1 to wide receiver 2 because you got here. He's having a day. He's having a game. And you're starting problems on the sideline? Like, what are you doing? So you can defend AJ all you want. But it's just not right. No players want to see that on the bench. No ex-players want to see that. No coaching staff want to see that. Yeah, I can understand, read a quick inspiring quote and it can keep you motivated, keep you focused, keep you grounded. But the dude has a whole book and he's sitting there. And people are like, no, he was good on the sideline. He was laughing with everyone. Okay. It's just not what you want to see, man. You want to see him standing up, talking to everyone, giving high fives to the defensive players, talking to Saquon, being like, that's right, man, be our leader right now. Talking up, Jalen. You want to see him engage, not sitting on the bench reading a book. Just not what you want to see, man. It's just not. It's okay to admit that. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Philadelphia Eagles and their ugly win over Green Bay Packers? What do you think about AJ Brown reading a book? And we'll unpack this more. I'll be making more videos about this. But let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.